what do you think of the usage of this type of technology in movies now, as opposed to as opposed to making movies where we see actors as they are?
That's a very fascinating point. AI is going to play a huge role in like changing both the like facial expressions and like emotions. So you wouldn't really be putting like actors who do like a lot of facial play to like movies such as Avatar, because I think like the genres are different in a way. So like AI could be helpful, but also it could be detrimental to like the acting careers in the sense of like you can now put faces of like different actors on regular people and you have
Someone who wasn't even on set.
exactly, and you can create like a scene from scratch and it would be really like spotless. So it's a scary a little bit, and I think like there has to be due diligence even like in cinema to take care of like
That's right.
AI and the technologies used. But for what it is, like Avatar and the genre of sci-fi, I think it requires a lot of like that technology to make it as fascinating as it looked like in the big screen.
Feel as though there should be a limit to how much can be spent on making a movie in order to a bit of financial fair play for other productions.
No, that I get it. It's like I think the fact that there are categories of movies, which means like the big movies that get to spend a lot, there, I think like there is no cap on like productions, but also like there is categories, for instance, for movies that are self-produced or like documentaries that were made on low budget, so they are not competing on the same category. Like I think of an analogy of Formula One, for instance, as a sport, which is like a different thing. But like all these like Formula One's creators don't have like the same cap on the car that they are making, and they are competing on the same competitions.
Exactly.
I feel like that is unfair of like having I don't know like a company that cannot spend as much as Red Bull or like Ferrari and like other companies that cannot really compete with that much money. But hopefully like it's not the same thing like gladly in the movies, like in movies with low budget compete in categories of like movies in low budget, and big movies like they kind of become like compete on the same like level of other movies that spend a lot.
That's right.
But to go back to the question of like whether or not we should put a cap on like how much you spend on a movie, I think sometimes you feel yes, like production can be like necessarily um, uh, making budget cuts on movies, but that's up to also like the production studios, right? Who am I to judge as much as far as like the late or the product at the end is appealing. Uh, it's fine if you don't cap it. I feel like it. Um, yeah.
Fair enough.